Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Chakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and I want to start out right here with Isaiah 5 and verse 20. And it says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil." As a person that is extremely confused. It says that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And these people, in their confusion, they try to come off as they are good people, but in fact they're wicked, and the things that they believe in are wicked. And that leads us to our article of the day. And Thawada Barzal for putting this website out there. And this article is "End of the American Dream. Life as you know it, as you have known it, will never be the same again." And it says America's biggest problem. This just came out January 8th, 2024. And it says survey after survey has shown that Americans overwhelmingly agree that this country is moving in the wrong direction. So how did we get here? I often write about the economy, politics, crime, immigration, homelessness, corruption, drugs, the mainstream media, online censorship, government surveillance, war, and many other challenges that our nation is facing. But none of them is America's biggest problem. Ultimately, America's biggest problem is the fact that our country has become completely saturated with evil. And that's why I read Isaiah 5, because America has put evil for good and good for evil. It says, "From the very top of society to the very bottom of society, we have eagerly embraced evil. Just about every form of wickedness that you can possibly imagine is exploding all around us. And as it says, as the king, so are the people." And so the rulership is wicked and evil, and it spread all the way down to the lower rungs of society. And as the Lord told us in the book, put evil away from you, because evil is a cancer and it spreads, but it needs to be cut out. And America didn't do that. They embraced the cancer, and so now they're dying. It says, "If we do not reverse course, there is no future for us." But you cannot reverse course. This guy, the writer, doesn't understand that America, aka Babylon, is prophetically slated to be destroyed. It's their manifest destiny. All this wickedness has to come back around onto them. It says, "Once upon a time, Washington, D.C. was a beacon of hope for the rest of the world, but now it has become an epicenter of evil." And that is not true, because from the incarnation of America, it's always been evil. It came about through the rape, robbery, and murder of the tribe of Gad and Reuben and other northern kingdom tribes. This place was stolen and blood was shed to get it. It says, "Woe to a city that is established by blood and iniquity." And so, woe meaning destruction. This place is going to have to be destroyed. You can't cleanse the ground except for with the blood of him that shed it. And as far as these Edomites go, they are their forefathers. We've all been reincarnated, so they were here back then, and their blood is going to have to be shed, because this land needs to be cleaned. This whole earth needs to be cleaned, and cleaned of their wicked rulership. where was I? It says, many years ago, I actually worked in Washington, D.C., and even at that time, I could literally feel the evil in the air. I'm sure that it is even worse now. Yeah, because that cancer has grown. Everyone knows that our politicians are deeply corrupt, and many of them do things that should get them sent to prison for a very long time. On Monday, another batch of Easting, which I'm just trying to not trip the YouTube monitors, but his documents were released to the public, and the allegations that they contain are being described as explosive. And so he goes into it here. Another batch of documents from a defamation lawsuit related to J.E. were released on Monday morning. The Gateway Pundit obtained the 17 new documents on Monday, and they are explosive. The new documents, which were reviewed by this reporter, reveal they are alleged S-tapes of Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson. When my friend, I'm just not going to read that, but yeah, from the top down, this place is wicked, and that's showing some of the upper echelons of this society of the West, because it's really, America is at the forefront, but it's the West in general. It's all of Esau's rulership, his ruling structure that he set up through the NATO and the EU, which makes up the beast. It says, of course, actually, we're going to keep reading because he lists off different things, but we're not going I don't want to read the whole article. It's going to be really long. This is, for the first time, scientists have grown cerebral organoids, three-dimensional, lab-grown mini-brains from human fetal brain tissue. The new organoids grew to the size of a grain of rice and contained many types of cells that self-organized into complex 3D structures. The researchers also triggered the growth of brain tumors within the mini-brains and tested the tumors' response to existing cancer drugs. And so you see the tampering through their science. Moving on. It says 1 in 30 Oakland residents has had their car stolen last year. 1 in 30 Oakland residents had their car stolen last year as 15,000 vehicles were stolen. 45% increase in just a year. The shocking figure is the highest in 15 years. And so it's showing the widespread crime throughout America. And that's because you're going to have a lot of thieving because the elite are thieves. The next one says a Texas man has been arrested for kidnapping and holding a woman hostage after snatching her off the street nearly 5 years ago when she was pregnant. And again, the elite have done this as well. They stole the so-called Negroes, who were actually of the Southern Kingdom, stole us and brought us over here. And so how do you expect the people to act with such a poor example for leadership? Moving on. It says a teacher in Orange County, Florida is facing federal charges after the parents of her former 8th grade student found 28 SVs, or videos of them, together on his phone. And this is something that's always going on, and everyone turns a blind eye to it because it's a woman. But just so you women know, you're going down with Esau. You're going into complete subjection because you don't even understand that you're doing evil, because you don't have understanding. And you do a lot of evil, and it brings down society in general for you to be let loose and out there just with your bands and nets trying to rope up people. Moving on, it says in the last 6 months, we have borne witness to many iconic moments evidencing the collapse of American culture. And that is true. We are watching Babylon fall. It says the signs are everywhere and cover the gamut of politics, the economy, education, social life, pop culture, foreign policy, and the military. These symptoms of decay share common themes, and that is just one of the, or that decay right there, that's one of the stages of a civilization in general. And these people just think that their houses will last forever, or going to go on forever, and that America is going to go on forever. But all civilizations come down, and there's stages to it, from its discovery to its expansion and stabilization, and then into getting into decadency. And that's where America's coming out of, where it's just a party all the time, and then sexual morals are dropped, and then you come into the decay part, and that's where we are now. You could see it in the infrastructure, you could see it in people's morals, you could see it in how people are leaving the church. Not that the church is the truth, that's a whole another thing. And you could see it within world relations. These other nations are turning on Western nations, especially Babylon, and they're seeing that this place has really just gone around the world, and it's their fault too because they followed it, but gone around the world and pushed their democracy and destabilized nations by bringing in their feminism and their alphabet lifestyles. And these things are looked at as good, but they're really evils. They're death. Nothing good comes from these things. And these nations are seeing it and turning on America. But yeah, this place is going down. It says our descent is self-induced, and yes, it is. It is not a symptom of a foreign attack or subterfuge. Our erosion is not the result of poverty and want, but of leisure and excess. And it speaks of the place of the land of unwalled villages where no one has a care. Just extremely paraphrasing. But it says we are not suffering from existential crisis of famine, plague, or the collapse of our grid and fuel sources just yet. But this will happen because these things are prophesied. It says prior, far poorer, and war-torn generations now seem far better off than what we are becoming. So what is the solution? Well, America, you need to just shut your mouth and die. It says, as a nation, we should immediately change direction, and we should be crying out for mercy. And so, actually, let's keep reading. It says, unfortunately, that just isn't happening. Instead, we are running away from the Most High as rapidly as we can. The following comes from an article recently authored by Hal Lindsey. And that change is just not going to come. As it says in Daniel, the wicked shall do wickedly, and none shall have understanding. So, how can you expect them to turn to the Lord? But this article, it says, but the greatest danger facing America is its arrogant dismissal of the Most High, whose blessings it daily squanders. Sounds just like Esau. It says vast portions of the population spend their blessings from the Most High on activities that demean humanity and exalt evil. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil. And it says, in this, the U.S. is joined by most of the world at a time when the human race should be humble before an unprecedented potential for destruction. Nations arrogantly spit in the Most High's face at every opportunity. It says, most Americans don't realize it yet, but time is running out for our country. And it speaks of the devil knowing that he hath but a short time. So the elite, they do know it. That's why they are moving forward with their plans so rapidly and so without care. And you're seeing their mistakes everywhere now, and they're being exposed because of that lack of care. Especially like you look at these tunnels that just got found. That's being exposed, and that's shameful. It says, if we stay on the path that we are on, there is no hope. And Esau, Babylon, there is no hope. Esau being the self-proclaimed white man and Babylon being America, they're tied together. And prophetically, Babylon gets nuked and no one dwells here anymore, so it gets completely destroyed. And then Esau gets destroyed, as in his power structure brought down, and then the remnant of them are going to go into slavery. And then after 1,000 years of really, really brutal, hard slavery, they will be genocided, according to Obadiah 1 and 18 and various other verses within the scriptures. And so there is no hope. It says we desperately need a national awakening, because otherwise our story will not end well. And I'm telling you how the story ends. Our apostles and elders of the Great Millstone have told you how this story ends. You don't make it. Your future is not looking very bright. And since he talked about trying to heal Babylon, we've got to get it. And so Jeremiah chapter 51, and we're going to start at verse 7. It says, Babylon being the United States of America. And yes, there was a place to exist previously in Iraq that was called Babylon, and before that you've got the Tower of Babel and that Babel. But when you see it prophetically and it's talking about it being destroyed or about wars coming onto it, it's speaking really to this time, because this is the time period in which Babylon will be destroyed and it won't be inhabited again. It couldn't be Iraq because people live there. But it says Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand. And it was at one point looked at as pretty much the kingdom of heaven. It was above all of the other nations and thought to be a morally good place, a place where you could have every opportunity and succeed and make a better life for you and your family. But when you look at it closer, you see that its policies and its ways and its culture are actually all just corroded. It's corrupted. It's nothing good within that cup. It says that made all the earth drunken, because all the nations just wandered after the beast. They all wanted to be westernized and Babylonian, but it put awful philosophies on them and into their mind, especially onto the women and onto the children. It says the nations have drunken of her wine, because they followed it. Therefore the nations are mad, and these nations are upset, and they are going to launch their nuclear missiles onto this land. And it says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. You know, they try to do these stimulus packages and the guy in that article is trying to write to appeal to feelings to turn this place around morally so that it can continue on, but there's no reason to want it to be healed. It's a wicked place. So really the only righteous idea for it is for it to be destroyed, and that's what's going to happen. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So all these sins that this place is laid on itself are too much. It's all the way up to heaven. Sin upon sin upon sin. All that iniquity, the Lord is going to have to judge it. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 47. And we're going to just do 10 and 11. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. And that is exactly what Babylon, aka America, has done. Trusted in its wickedness, going around the world just destabilizing nations, thinking no one's seeing it. And they thought they were going to be here forever. It says, or at the top forever. It says, Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, which is all wisdom and knowledge on the left hand side. So it's knowledge of evil, which is no knowledge at all. It said, It hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. There's the Most High, there's Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and they are coming to put this world back in order. Yahweh Shai is coming to do that. It says, Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. And they're being exposed, and that exposure is going to bring them down. It says, Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And considering the wicked has no understanding, they aren't going to see all of the pitfalls that the Most High has set for them. And then finishing it off here in 2 Esdras 11 and verse 41. And to preface this, this is speaking of the Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire. But America is a revision of that Roman Empire, or the fourth beast. And it's through the fourth beast that all the kingdoms are brought down. And so 2 Esdras 11 and verse 41 says, For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. And they haven't one bit. They picked up the Bible and really they just hold it while they try to justify why the laws are done away with of the Bible, and then they set up their own laws, and those laws they're not truth, they're all lies. They had to change history to make things fit to their lies. It says, For thou hast afflicted the meek, that being the Israelites, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and their lies are, they're everywhere. That's really like waking up and realizing you've been lied to. That's where that anger comes in, because you've been deceived. And it says, and you look at it, and science is a lie, history is a lie, religion's a lie, everything is a lie. And then they set up things. It's a whole nother subject. They are liars. And it says, And destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. When they came over here to establish this wicked nation, they had to lie to Gad over and over and over again to steal their land. There's something like 400 plus treaties that were broken, all on the U.S. side, all through Esau. It says, Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest. It says, sins reaching unto heaven, and thy pride unto the mighty, and they are the most proud, but the pride of their heart has deceived them. It says, The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. The Lord's coming to shut down your party, Esau, and therefore appear no more, thou eagle. And that's the eagle's pretty much code word for the Edomites. You look at their kingdoms, and they've all have that eagle sign, like Rome, Germany, America, so on and so forth. It says, Nor thy horrible wings, because they spread themselves out everywhere, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, their rulership, their elite, nor thy hurtful claws, all their weaponry, nor all thy vain body. Just get out of here, Esau. You are the problem. It says that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence. Because the Lord is going to turn this place right side up and put everything into order. And then we're going to have no more war. You should look forward to that. And that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.